Hi. Throughout the years, I've mostly used Marshall 4x12s, full stacks and half stacks with my Marshalls. But it has turned out over the years, doing more and more experiments, recording in different ways, that more and more of the tones I've searched for so long can best be delivered using 112s. Now in the room, we're talking recording here. In the room, these are two different beasts altogether, 112 and 4x12. But here we're talking recording now. I'm going to divide this clip into a couple of sections here. First, I'm going to show you a recording. First, I'm using 112, and then 412. I'm going to use some EQ compensation there, because in the final end, the final recording product is you usually use that. So in this comparison, we're going to use that in the first section, and I'm going to EQ match it to a classic Israeli tone. Then after that, we're going to discuss those results. Then after that, we're going to listen to the same tracks, but completely without, completely dry, no EQ compensation. So we can discuss how does those differ and what are the pros and cons with both there. And then later on, I'm gonna do some more experiments with dry and EQ matched recordings, so we can discuss that also, because everything is coupled here. I'm going to use it is actually the same riff as the last video. I've recorded that for 112 as well, and over this progression I'm adding the guitars, so the intensity is increased all the time. The 112 and 4x12 are not identical, but I think it gives you good impression of the differences here. So let's check it out, and then my comments right after the sound clip. I think the 112 sounds as aggressive and as big as the 4x12 here, actually. I think it of course sounds more open, since it's an open back. Then, with a 4x12 you have a bigger box which adds frequencies. Those frequencies doesn't come from the guitar, they come from the box, so it's some kind of contamination, like the room is a contamination, some constant tonality that lies on it. I'm not using any room mic here, so we're not hearing any of those constant tonalities, but the tonality of the box is present here. Then you also have the mutual coupling. You know, when you have 4 speakers, it's easier for you know, the long frequencies to interact with each other rather than the really small ones. So they're easier for them to align. So therefore it gets bassier just by that fact. That makes the 4x12 less of a precision tool, I think. You know, the 1x12 delivers what the guitar puts out in a more direct way. Had we been opting for using room mics here also, then the 4x12 would have killed the 1x12, because as soon as you add room mics there, you get the sense of the small box, and then it just sounds small. But here's we're using a completely dry tone. So in my opinion, I'm using the 112 if I'm not adding any room sound. But as soon as you add room sound, you need to have the bigger box, because otherwise it's going to sound small. You really need a good room then, because most room sounds, it's just going to be contamination in your mix. You know, it's just going to be a constant tonality that, you know, it does indicate a sense of room, but it sounds kind of amateur and garage at the same time. So you really need a good room then. Well, this was a long rant on that. Now let's check out how they sound if you are not using any EQ compensation. So this is the raw signal that I recorded. And here there's a huge difference, of course. You know, here you can hear the how much darker and bigger and much more nasal sounding the 4x12 sounds, and the I think they both sound good, but here you can really hear the difference. So recording 1x12. It's my preference, but you really need to EQ it afterwards to remove that hint of small box, you know. Now let's listen to the dry recordings of lots of guitars. First lots of 4x12s and then lots of 1x12s. And here you can see the more 1x12s you add, the more of the constant tonality from the small box gets added up, and it really sounds even more smaller than the 4x12 than with the single guitars. So to conclude then, I mean the title is of course provocative. Of course you need a 4x12 as well, especially for live playing and for your own you know, pleasure. But for recording, if you're not playing evil, you know, something that's going to sound like metal, all classic rock, I think, as long as you close mic it and use some post EQ, then 1x12 is really the way to go. That's the precision tool. But as soon as you want to add some room to it, you know, as soon as you back out with a room mic from a little 1x12, you're going to hear the small box. You're going to hear that it is an entity that is, you know, the fourth of the size of a human, and that's not threatening at all. That's like a small dog or something like that. You want to have in the room. You want frequencies of something that is louder and higher than a human. You know, basically. So there you need 4x12 or preferably, you know, full stack. But for most professional mixes, you probably benefit anyway from recording it dry with only close mics, and then go to a professional establishment that helps you get the room sound using big speakers. But then again, I'm going back and forth here. So you know, you should both listen to me and not listen to me. This summer, I thought with the 1x12, I thought now I found the sound. This is the way to do it. But then it's no fun with you know, it's cool with big speakers and stuff. So I went back to that just because of that reason. And then I was convinced that was the way to go. And now when I put it back to back, I'm convinced of the opposite again. So you know, take everything with a grain of salt, and what works. All right. Now I want to hear what you think in the comments. Cheers.